Hi, my name is Jack Polk, and I am going to talk about Inspired How to Create Tech Products That Customers Love by Marty Cagan. The book offers an insightful look behind the curtain into the product strategies of some of the most successful, innovative, and commercially sustainable companies in the tech world today. The book takes a holistic look at the product, considering not only the product's features, but also its technology that backs the features, the marketing strategy and the monetization strategy, the user experience, and even experiences users have outside of interacting with the product that affect how they interact with the product. The book centers on the role of the product manager, who Kagan convincingly argues is key not only to the success of the product, but to the success of the business as a whole by extension. There are a few things that surprised me when I read the book. The first thing that surprised me was the idea that products are not ideated, they're discovered. And here's what I mean by that. Before reading the book, I thought that tech products were either built in the basement of a founder's home or they were agreed upon in a board meeting and passed down to product teams to develop. That's not how it works in successful product strategies. Instead, product teams are given a vision and a business objective. The vision is the impact a product is supposed to have on consumers 2 to even 10 years down the line, depending on the product. The business objective is the strategy that the product team is supposed to take to help achieve that vision, possibly along with other strategy teams in the company. After being given the vision and the business objective, the product team works to address risks up front as they discover the optimal product to meet the vision and follow the business strategy. Because this way, they will be sure to create a product that optimizes the experience for users while maximizing the value for the business. The second thing that surprised me is the amount of freedom that product teams are given. In my experience working, you would be given an assignment and a deadline. That's not how it works in successful tech product teams. Instead, teams are given a certain amount of flexibility to figure out how they need to meet the business objectives that they've been given. They do so in a flat structure in which team members report to leaders within their function rather than within the team. For example, engineers do not report to product managers, they report to engineers who may not be directly associated with the project. Also, they are given very open ended objectives to obtain, such as reduce the amount of time it takes to onboard a customer down to 3 hours. That's an example Cagan uses in the book. How they do that is up to the team, which to me is great because it gives them the flexibility to apply their expertise and it gives them buy-in rather. Cagan uses the term missionary rather than mercenary. Missionaries being team members who truly believe in the product rather than mercenaries who are simply told what to do and do their job. The third thing that surprised me in reading the book was the notion of a high integrity commitment. This is a commitment in which, before committing or agreeing to a deadline to deliver a product, the team requests stakeholders and leaders for a little bit of time to work on discovery, to discover what the optimal product will be, and then commits to a hard deadline. This surprised me because it seems risky. The discovery phase sees product teams being very independent from leadership and stakeholders and more accountable to themselves than I would expect in a normal team outside of the tech business. However, it makes sense because it ensures that the product that is correct for the customer and the business is discovered prior to any resources being allocated to its delivery. Now I'm going to talk about one tech product that I use quite a bit and how it can be improved for customers. That product is Spotify. The product is great, and I interact with it quite a bit, as many do around the world, to access songs, podcasts, and even now, videos. This is great, but it ignores a key and growing part of the music experience, and that's the live experience. Yes, there are live albums, but wouldn't it be nice to be able to access any concert from any of your favorite artists on Spotify? The live music industry is growing. According to Markets and Markets, a customer research business, the live music business is expected to grow by $70 billion in the next 5 years, or about 6% annually. That's very strong. However, it's very difficult to access any concert you want. Maybe tickets are too expensive, but you would like to experience it anyway. Wouldn't it be nice to experience it in a video or a series of live stream songs through Spotify? You can do this currently on some platforms, such as nugs.net, where you can access any concert as long as the artist has agreed to work with nugs.net, and even get videos of some concerts. This is a really great product, but it really only appeals to a select number of music scenes, such as the jam band scene and the EDM scene. If Spotify, using its scale, could apply this technique across all different kinds of genres and music scenes, I believe it would experience quite a bit more user interaction. In addition, users may pay more for a full experience. However, there's quite a bit of risk taking this approach, and it would be difficult to achieve. Therefore, it's highly important that Spotify would first work with customers to optimize the product. Here's how they could do this. First, they could test demand. I envision them doing this in a way that's not too different from some of the techniques discussed in the book, such as the fake door test. What I would envision is Spotify highly prioritizing a select few amount of live concerts that users could experience on the app for a limited amount of time before paying a slightly larger fee for the full experience. You could even show them some of the concerts they could experience if they pay for the full subscription. While users interact with this and during their free trial, they could answer questions about the usability of it, as well as whether they would recommend the feature to their friends and whether they would be willing to pay for it, or possibly even how much they would be willing to pay for it. That would give valuable qualitative data, and quantitative data about usage could be used and analyzed to understand exactly how to optimize the product. The book gave me quite a few ideas about how to design the perfect tech product, and I'm excited to apply it in this class, as a student at Daniels, and possibly even in my career. Thank you.